Welcome back to No Fear Press. As you can see, Ant is sadly not joining us today, but I do got my boy Dawgs AC, aka Adrian, in the building. Your name's Adrian, right?
My name is Adrian.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
that's my full government. I don't like it when people call me Adrian like in public.
So it's just AC.
I like going by AC.
Cool.
But people from like high school, they know me as Adrian.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the thing with this, social media, video, influencer thing is sometimes you only know people by their Instagram handles. So I'm trying to
I call everybody by their Instagram handle.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
and
crazy.
people that I really don't know for real, I call them by their Instagram handle. But like even though even people like Doolin, like I obviously know his first name is Maddox, but I call him
I didn't even know that.
I call him Doolin Mid. I call people by their Instagram handles because that's how I get introduced to them, and so I
Right.
think of them. And that was a fly. And I think of them in my mind, I go, oh, by their Instagram handle. And then when I get to really know them, they're still my Instagram handle.
That's crazy. That's crazy the world we live in, right? How much influence. And we're going to get into that here in a second. Before I go any further, right? We're already starting to yap, and I appreciate that. That's why I
I
love
ruined the intro.
No, that's why I love my boy AC, bro. Like that's why he's here. But shout out to Collective Coffee for letting us film our second episode of No Fear Press. Again, yeah, Ant will not be joining us today. He'll be back on the next one. It's all good. The whole point and premise of this show, which I don't even think I even really told you about, was me and my boy Anthony, aka Annex Films. Again, there he goes with the Instagram handles, right? Annex Films, shout out my boy. He came to me talking about wanting a podcast. I was like, bro, do you really want a podcast? Or you just saying you want a podcast? Because everybody's doing a podcast. But nah, he really was about it. And we came together and we're like, no, we want to highlight the sports creatives, right? Like the sports creatives and who are like posting their stuff, posting their content, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, right? They usually, build up their following by the events they cover, the athletes they cover, or low key celebrities, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's like, what about people behind the camera?
Right.
Photographers, the videographers, the social media managers, content creators. We want to highlight them. So that was kind of the whole idea of starting this whole podcast, is to, put a little spotlight on the people behind the camera.
Yeah, that's funny that you said that that's the whole idea of your podcast, because that's kind of the whole idea of the reason why I picked up the camera in the first place. Because I used to when I was in college, I went to college for sports journalism. But
Same. Where's you at ASU?
yeah, at ASU. Yeah, at
Walter Cronkite.
Yeah, Walter. Good old
Walter. Yo, good old Cronky.
Good old Cronky. And before that though, I was modeling. And so I was really trying to I was I was in a lot better shape than I am now, but I was trying to make it about me. Like I wanted to be in front of the camera. I wanted to be like me in front of the camera and like spotlight me. And then I don't know, I kind of realized that there was like a shift in media. Online content was, a lot of people were trying to start their own brands and start their own like businesses and stuff like that. So I'm like, let's do a little switch, a little change. And instead of making it all about me, I think a better way to, make some money or start a business is like start highlighting other people and start telling like other people's stories. And so, yeah, that's exactly like, that was on the path that I was thinking. That's the reason why I picked up the camera.
Bro, that's pretty dope. Speaking of picking up the camera, right? For those of us that may not know, right? About Dawgs AC. What is that about, bro? What's Dawgs? When did you? Because I know, again, I've known you by your handle probably first, and you weren't always Dawgs
Right.
AC. So what, like, before you were even like put the Dawgs moniker next to your name, like,
Right.
what did you go by? What were you known for, kind of thing?
Right. I was when I first started, I made my actual company name is called AC Productions. So like that's I have LLC. That's where all my like my taxes get filed under and stuff like that. And I think when like people are starting out making their own content and like starting a brand and like giving their Instagram handle like views by blah 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 or shots by blah blah blah, like everybody's doing a lot of like parody stuff. When I had AC Productions, I thought it was cool doing my own thing. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed like being me and being separate from a entity, but it was hard to grow like a following. It was like especially when I started, a lot of people were associated with like a brand. Ball is life, blah blah blah. Ray Ball is life, or people like that. So
those were the days.
so I kind of, I'm not gonna say I hopped on a wave, but I definitely I was looking to be a part of like a bigger brand. And I was with a specific brand for a little while called Ballers Bridge. But they had me shoot on the iPhone, and that was cool. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I had a camera and I wanted to start shooting stuff on my camera, and I wanted a brand or a company to kind of embrace me and let me, show my skills and show my talent and kind of like just let me be me. And so I asked the guy that runs Bulldogs, his name is Neil, if he would, you know, let me be a part of the team, and he was like absolutely, and I hit the ground running and I joined the team, and you know, I changed my I DM'd him on Instagram one day. I said, "Hey, let me be Bulldog AC." And he was like, "Let's do it." And I changed my handle that day, and I haven't looked back.
Dang.
I haven't looked back.
You're rocking with Bulldogs ever since.
I've been rocking with Bulldogs ever since.
So
Yeah.
what has been like, you said it was kind of harder to build your brand with AC Productions, right? So like what's been the biggest difference kind of like teaming up with Bulldogs, you know, becoming Bulldogs AC? Like what are some big like differences or notable changes you had once you like made that name change, you started working directly with Bulldogs as opposed to kind of just being your own person?
Before I was like, especially when I was AC Productions, people definitely knew me as AC. But now, and this is a good and a bad thing. I'm not gonna say I don't love it, but when I go out in public now, a lot of people go, "Hey, are you Bulldogs?" Like I'm not even like there's no AC next to it. It's just a Bulldog. My first name Ball, last name Dogs, which I'm totally cool with because people just know me as the Bulldogs guy.
Yeah.
So I'm totally cool with that. But there was a huge change when I went from like being myself, being AC, to being Bulldog AC. Now I'm Mr. Bulldog. I'm first name Ball, last name Dog. But I do really love it. I can't lie.
Bro, that's how it was when I was working with Ball's Life.
Yeah, Ball's
like
Life, yeah.
I wasn't even active on my own personal account. Like I wasn't Ball's Life CJ, nothing like that. But people saw me, they saw like the crew I was hanging with, and they're like, "Oh, you're Ball's Life.
Yeah,
you're Ball's Life." And I was like, "Well, yeah, I shoot for them, I work for them, but like."
But I'm my own thing though. Yeah.
Yeah.
It. I mean, it's definitely a compliment because they know your work. But at the same time, it would be an even bigger compliment if they addressed you by like the name that you actually have.
Right.
But
Right. Yeah.
I understand I understand the game, the social media game. It's like to be, you know, attached to a brand. There's a big like Ball is Life and Ball Dogs and companies like that. Like their name carries some weight. Whereas like unfortunately now, like cameramen, videographers, photographers, like we got a million of them now. They're a dime a dozen. Like we got high school dudes doing it now.
Bro.
So it's like,
And they're tough.
yeah, and they're tough.
They're tough.
Yeah, they're taking it over too.
Bro.
No, I love it. I honestly do love it. But I really wanted to like kind of carve out like at least people will know me. At least people will know me for my work and stuff like that. So it's a love-hate relationship with the first name Ball, last name Dogs.
First name Ball, last name Dogs, for sure.
Last name Dogs.
So I might have missed this part, but like, how did you like get in touch with Bulldogs? Were you like, did you see like the owner at like a tournament or something?
Yeah. I talked to the owner multiple times. Like I ran into him at the grind session when the grind session was at the facility during COVID. And they were just having games and games and games every day, and all the teams from the grind session were all in one area. So there was a lot of good basketball happening. This was when like Paulo and Tai were battling out. So
Dude, I was there.
yeah, that was some good comp.
We were both there.
Yeah, we were both there.
We were both there. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paulo and freaking Tai were going at it.
That was a great time for basketball. And
It was crazy.
I remember one specific Pangos All-American camp I pulled up to. Was at AZ Compass. I didn't mean just like the Pangos West of that year, but all the campers like Chet, Paulo, Tai, they all had Ball Dogs gear on. I was like, what is Ball Dogs? I've never heard no Ball Dogs before this. They all had the shirts on, the underdog shirts on, and I was like, what's the shirt?
Did it say like just dog on it?
I think it says underdog on it.
Yeah.
Or it might have said, they had a bunch of different ones. One of them says dogs and one of them says underdogs, and I was like, that's hella cool that they have all the players wearing their gear, and I've never heard of them. I'm like, what's going on with this brand? So I kind of looked into it, and then the next time I seen him, I said what's up to him. I introduced myself. He kind of get to know me, and then when I DM'd him, it was all good after that. And now I feel like I've, you know, worked my way up till now. I'm like you know, one of the top people that people would know associated with the company.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
No, for real. Like before that, like I didn't know any like, cause honestly, like the only people who I knew were doing it like that were Ball's Life and Overtime, right? You got like Overtime Tom, Overtime Meg, and then Ball's Life. Like I'm from Texas, so I knew about Ball's Life. Oh my God, what was his name? Greg? No, not Greg. Ball's Life. Not Brandon. Brandon was one of them too.
Yeah, Brandon.
But you had all, you know what I mean? Like you had all these like Ball's Life, and then insert names. Like
Ball's Life.
when it came to like
Yes,
videographers.
100%.
So when it came to Ball Dogs, I didn't really know any of them until you started doing your thing.
Yeah.
In Ball Dogs AC. So are there others like in other parts of the country?
There are. It's a Vegas-based company, so like all the guys that are part of the squad, I'm gonna shout them out. Shout out Miggy Flicks. You know, shout out Bulldog Q. Those are my guys. So there's a couple like main guys that are in Vegas, but as far as like Arizona, I was like probably the first one, and now we have a couple. We have like Karsten Shot It as a part of it and stuff like that. But
Carson's stuff too.
yeah, Carson's good. No, he knows what he's doing. So yeah, now we kind of branched out, but I've definitely like, took pride in like pioneering the brand in Arizona as far as like people, knowing it and seeing it and stuff like that. So
Yeah, bro. No, that's fire. That's fire. Honestly. Speaking of branding,
yeah,
right?
the branding.
Speaking of go ahead. Drink your water.
Shout out Collective Coffee.
Shout out Collective Coffee, man. Look at the shameless plug. Appreciate that. Um, what was I going? Oh yeah.
Branding.
Branding, bro. So honestly, you had put something on your story not too long ago, and it really piqued my interest. It was the whole reason why I hit you up to come on the pod.
Put a lot of things on my story. I can't lie.
You be yapping.
I'm a chatter.
You like
Yeah,
chat.
I'm a ranter. I'm a ranter.
And I'm cool with that. That's here for it. That's why we do podcasts and stuff, so you can let it all out. So I appreciate that. But you said you were basically talking to like high school athletes, right? And you were going on a rant about building up your brand. Like, yo, you gotta build up your brand. Like, you gotta basically maybe give the people like a better synopsis than I'm doing. Like, what were you talking about, and why were you so passionate?
I was really passionate about on this specific day. I was passionate about my little rant because I think a lot of people are, especially now that social media is a way of life at this point. Like it's a daily thing for everybody. At one point, it used to be like a escape. Like, oh, social media, like it's kind of taken over, and now it's like it's here. It's a part of everybody's life. It's a daily thing. So videos and pictures and content and reels and stuff like that. That's all a part of people's daily vocabulary and stuff that they're watching, stuff like that. But there's a lot of athletes that are trying to make it are trying to have success in the sports field and don't have any idea how to like market themselves as a individual, but there's plenty of access to camera people and people that can help them do that, and they're just not like doing it correctly, or they're not doing it. And I was just talking about especially the college players and the professional players that have a lot of money. There's no reason why you shouldn't have a camera guy doing your content, like a personal camera guy. Because the more fans that you have, the more people that are watching you and consuming like your daily life, whether it's, like I'll give you a good example. Like Jared McCain, how he was in high school. He was I'm not gonna say unknown player, but he was definitely like a under the radar type player, really talented, but under the radar.
Yeah,
He partnered up with a cameraman, and
Hmm.
now he's in the NBA. Not because he wasn't like NBA talent wise, he had the talent, but I'm saying notoriety and name. If we're talking about now, we're in the age of NIL
Yeah.
and what are the colleges and places that are recruiting you, like what are they getting out of you being there? Like, are you gonna bring notoriety to the program? Are you gonna bring fans? Are you gonna bring donors and people that are willing to donate to the program? Having a videographer, having a camera guy is all part of that personal branding, and I was just fired up because I think it boils down like simple as like we have players out here that are trying to get recruited that say they want to play Division 1, and their Instagram handle isn't their first name or it isn't their last name or has nothing to do with them.
It's a bunch of like dots and periods.
Certified bucket getter JB.
Right.
Like, who is that? We don't know that guy. We don't know him. And like we said earlier, like we know people by their Instagram handles. That's not just us. That's like a everybody thing. Like people act like college coaches aren't on Instagram looking at stuff, and they might see a clip or see something that has to do with recruitment or the video or some news like that, and then they see who it's collabed with, and it doesn't have your name in it. They're scrolling right by. Like they don't know you. You gotta have your name in your bio. You gotta have, you know what I mean? So there's all these things that I feel like, if someone was to write like a book or a crash course on athletes trying to be have your personal brand.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that
You're the guy.
Yeah.
You're the guy that you gotta
I'm writing the book now. Yeah.
Yo,
But yeah, that's where the
soon.
brand was coming from. So.
No, dude, that's pretty dope, honestly, and it's crazy. Like, you're hitting on a lot of like stuff that we've already kind of touched on, like knowing people by their Instagram, that's a whole nother conversation in itself.
100%.
Actually, like that's like low key kind of scary.
No,
Like, yo, it's like, but no, you're right. Like the age where it's like, I mean, kids got their spam accounts and they got their stuff, whatever. They still want to have fun with social media, right?
Right.
But you're right. Like Facebook has like 2 billion users like in the whole world.
Right.
There's only like 8 billion of us, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and that number's probably off. Like, it's probably more than that now. It's probably more like 4 billion, And that's just Facebook. People aren't even using Facebook. Like, Instagram's like on the up and up. Like, TikTok changed the game when it came to like video, right? Once TikTok came out, Instagram came out with Reels, YouTube came out with Shorts. Like, the fact that social media is what it, going back to your point before, like it just being kind of like a way of life.
Yes.
Like, it really, like, everybody and anybody has it. And yeah, if you they come to your account and it's like a bunch of, I don't know, like zeros and dots and numbers and
Right, zeros and dots
yeah,
and underscores and stuff like that.
underscores, like you're, yeah, nobody knows what the
I'll
fuck.
give you an example. Did you play basketball in high school? Did you play sports?
I tried out, but I was not very good.
That is real. That's real.
That's kinda how I learned all this. We can get into that here in a second too.
Okay, that's real. I remember when I played that it was like a thing to like sign up for these like free recruiting profile sites where you put in your height and you put in where you went to school and you would
Okay.
upload a little like highlight video of
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
And then you would hopefully like college coaches would hopefully, be on that site and they would recruit you. That used to be the method. Then social media took off and now everyone has a profile and there's college coaches that have Instagram profiles, whether you see them active on it or not,
Yeah.
that like that's your recruiting profile. Like players don't understand like your Instagram, that's your new recruiting profile. So it has to reflect you as a basketball player, not as like a person. Like we got dudes posting like I'm I post photos like this too. I can't lie, but hands in front of the face at the gas station, like in front of
Yeah.
the coolers and stuff like that. It's like, for what? Like you're trying to get recruited to go play D1 basketball.
Yeah.
It should be highlights, tournament clips, photos of basketball, collabs with Ball's Life in the top brands.
Okay.
That should be it on somebody's basketball profile, not all this extra stuff, because that's what the college coaches are seeing. They're on social media. They can see your profile, they can see your page, and that will get you recruited or it won't get you recruited. And I think people don't miss that. And they want, like you said, they want to use the Instagram to have fun and look at the fun reels and use their TikTok to post little dances and stuff like that. It's like, at the end of the day, are you trying to get recruited or are you trying to be a social media? Are you trying to be an influencer? So
So you're talking, and this is an interesting kind of conversation too. So you're talking right now to like the athletes that are trying to go D1 that really want to use social media as a tool, right? Like you're not just talking about someone who's like playing for fun, they can post whatever they want.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
talking about somebody who's like serious about getting recruited, who's serious about getting eyeballs on their game, like getting coaches, getting recruiters, getting like all those eyeballs on their game. Like that's how that you're saying you're kind of talking to somebody like
yes, 100%. I'm talking to aspiring future, college, not even D1, just college basketball players. If you're trying to get recruited and play college basketball at the next level and not just in high school for fun, you got to use your Instagram as like that's your recruiting profile. I mean, I'm not saying you have to go as far as like put your height in the bio, but
right.
you put your team your AAU program
Mm.
in your bio. That should be like a automatic thing.
Given.
Yeah,
Okay.
you put your high school where you play and stuff like that. So it's like all the people that have an opportunity to change your life, the actual decision makers. We're not like a lot of social media is like for your friends and for girls or guys or whatever. Like you want to look cool, but at the end of the day, the decision makers, the people that can actually change your life, are the adults that are looking at your profile and saying, "Oh, where does he go to school? Where does he? Who does he play AU for? Who's his coach?" And then they're contacting your coach, and that's how the recruiting process starts. But if your Instagram handle is certified JB, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I know a certified JB. Shout out Javon Barbaro, but I'm not talking about him. I'm just saying certified. You know what I mean? You gotta handle like that. Then it's gonna be hard. It's gonna make it. You gotta be a 5-star All-American to have your handle. Some bucket getter 0, and people are like, oh, that's blah blah blah. Like you gotta be a top guy.
You gotta be like one of the ones. No, I hear you guys. So would you say, or would you even recommend, like this was like a thought for me, or this was like something I had, like if I was one of these athletes, right? It's like, oh dang, like I like using Instagram to like for my people. I like putting my like personal life on there. Would you recommend starting like a whole separate
Yes,
account just for
a
basketball,
1000%.
and then the other one you can
A
do
thousand
whatever,
percent.
like the other one you can do whatever you want.
And I think a lot of parents have caught on to that. Like a lot of parents take over their kids like the young kids profile and make like especially if they have like a brother. I see like a lot of accounts where it's like 2 brothers that play basketball and it's all their basketball content and all their sport recruiting content on one page, and then it's a personal one where the kid runs and it's just
It's just whatever they want. Yeah.
pictures or whatever everyone else is posting. That's totally fine. But I feel like recruiting wise, like you said, you got billions of viewers per day just washing through this app daily. Like every second someone's just watching, someone's scrolling. So if with that being said, like you gotta have some kind of structure with your page so that but that's just for like aspiring college athletes. Anyone else, I mean, you can do what you want.
Right,
But
right.
yeah, that
You're
that was just for people that are really serious about hoop and taking to the next level and taking it to that next level. Is all the people that are successful in the league that are like part of the younger generation. I'll give 3 examples: Jared McCain, Tyrese Halliburton, Jalen Williams. They all have personal camera guys that follow them wherever they go. They're taking, they're constantly uploading YouTube videos in their personal lives. They're constantly uploading, Instagrams, TikToks, and stuff like that to give the fans and the not just the fans of them, but those people play for teams. So like Jalen Williams, he got the OKC Thunder fans like, hey, what's up with Jalen Williams today? He's got content that shows, hey, this is what I'm doing, and it makes these people more personable. And when you're more personable, you're more likable, and people want to buy the products that you're endorsing. Or people want to give you endorsements like that. I think it's like an easy path. I just think it gets missed when they don't understand that Instagram is like that's got to be the tool.
Dude, no, that's crazy you mentioned that. And like, look at Jared McCain. Like Jared McCain's camera guy was Nick in the Cut.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Nick in the Cut's got his own thing going on now. Like he's just a camera guy.
Yeah,
he's just the camera guy, and he got his whole like he kind of started doing his own thing. Started going down the more like YouTuber route, like public interview route.
Yes.
And I'm like, damn, I miss the old Nick in the Cut. But he's still.
I'm with that. But I'm with that. Yeah, he definitely went commercial. But that's that comes with he was doing millions of views on the Jared Dawg like per week. So like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that say, hey, shout out Nick in the Cut. Like, where is he back there in the cut? Like,
no, back there in the cut.
You know that. Like that's that's a personal branding thing that he was doing for himself. Is like he did that. So now people know his videos. So now he can branch out and do his own thing. And I think that's like kind of the blueprint for a lot of camera guys are obviously like they want to make content about other people, but they like I would say for me specifically, like I got a personality too. But
that's why you're on the pod.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. I appreciate the invite.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's all about branding. Like you said, yeah, Nick in the Cut, that's a perfect example, man. He did a great something right here, and then they created a whole portfolio of stuff for him that he can do now. So,
bro, and he's worked with Travis Hunter, CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
Got CJ Stroud documentary in there.
He's got some good stuff.
Jared McCain, like, bro, that's like legacy. Like Jared McCain's like, when he's a 10-year vet in the NBA, you can go back and look at his high school documentary, and it's like, bro, and Nick got all that.
Yeah, and that's crazy.
So it's crazy to think about. But yeah, what you're talking about too, like these guys. I mean, obviously there's a big difference between being like, even if you're like one of the top guys in high school, college, right? There's a big difference between like that kind of resource and access and like being in the NBA, right? Like you can, like I'm sure Tyrese Halliburton, like Jalen Williams, I'm sure these guys got their camera guys on payroll. You know what I mean? Like salaries,
right,
and salaries to document their lives and to come up with this content and not to say that kind of money isn't out there, especially now in high school. Like
it's not. Yeah, it's not feasible for a high school athlete, 100%. So they gotta. It's hard. I'm not saying,
but it can be
high school guys personally go out and hire a cameraman. I'm not saying that, but and I think a lot of high school guys value, like I understand the value of having camera content, because I know you and me, we get DMs consistently, week in and week out. Hey, can you send me those clips? Like, there's not a random. Like, you'll be at a random game filming somebody completely different, and another kid will ask, hey, can I get those clips?
Hey, did you get my lay?
Hey, did you get that 3? Hey, can you make me a mix? So I know that guys do understand the value of it. It's just, then there's a lot, and then there's a conversation about everybody wants it for free, and not a lot of people are willing to shell out a lot of money for camera content, even though I just highlighted how important it is to make millions and millions of dollars. The measly thousands of dollars that you blow on your camera guy isn't gonna matter in the end. But I mean,
not everybody sees it like
they're not looking full picture.
For sure, dude. But no, I mean that honestly pretty good transition to our next point of the conversation, because you've said a lot about personal branding. You're very fired up and passionate about these athletes getting the bag.
Yeah, getting the bag. It's all about getting the bag.
Yeah. Go ahead. Refresh yourself. Shout out Collective Coffee. But dude, yeah, speaking of that, like, I mean, I don't do this full time anymore. Obviously, I have I'll talk a little bit.
Yeah, plug. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me some insight.
Not trying to, whatever. I know you were asking.
How did you start this podcast in the first place?
So, like, how, like, practically, or like with all this stuff, or what do you mean?
Yeah, well, where did you learn the skills on? Because there's a lot of AV equipment included in doing a podcast.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
You mentioned AV, which is like audio video.
Yeah.
Right? So like, there's like, yeah, you're right, soundboards, lights, and all that. So, just quick little backstory. So back in high school, right, I got started early. I was a part of this academy. I went to this high school in Texas, and it was called Academy of Media Arts and Technology. So, you know, I got some experience early on that not a lot of people had the
You a
access
little
to.
prodigy?
I was listen.
You went to a video and audio prep school?
No, dude. I went to a public school in Texas, and they had it.
Yeah,
And,
but
and they
they
had
their
it.
football field was probably ginormous
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Northwest ISD Stadium.
Oh,
Go,
you got
go look.
plugged in.
So Texas football is different. Texas sports in general is a little different.
That's awesome. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, yeah. So I grew up out in Texas, and I was a part of this. It's not called AMAT anymore. It's called like CMP now. But I kid you not, dude. Like, no, like the experience. Like, I got like Walter Cronkite experience in
Yeah,
high
in
school.
high school. Yeah,
In high
that's
school.
awesome.
So like the academy, they had their own like TV studio. Like I learned, I had my own like sports show. Like in
Oh, that's
my junior year of college.
I didn't even get all that at Cronkite. I can't lie. I feel snubbed. But keep going.
It no, it was it's crazy. Like no, it really is crazy. Like looking back and just realizing like, dang, like, you know, I knew then it was a blessing, but then really like seeing like, dang, like not every high school even has like a freaking like computer lab. You know what I mean? Or a TV monitor. So it's like, yo, the fact that we had this is like a crazy advantage. So right off the bat, and that's where I learned. Like, so before I even learned like my camera editing and effects and all that, I was learning how to operate cameras.
Produce shows.
I was learning how to like set up lights and mess with audio boards and like, you know, all this like definitely didn't learn overnight. Like I know there's a lot you can't see like off camera, but there's light set up, there's an audio board set up, there's multiple camera angles, there's, you know, audio being run to the microphones into the cameras. Like that's a whole production.
Yeah, there's a whole mixer over there.
Yeah,
Plugged into the wall.
yeah. It's a whole production.
This is the real deal.
So and this I just learned from serving the church. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. You
Yeah.
can say that.
Yeah. So shout out Beloved South Phoenix. They actually have church and collective coffees on Sundays. And like the setup that I have right now is not that different than the setup that I do whenever we're having Sunday service on churches. So it's like just reps, you know what I mean? So I'll admit, like I had a pretty crazy advantage right off the bat, like freshman year of high school, you know what I mean? Like learning how to do all this stuff and set up. And so I got a camera. My parents gave me a camera when I graduated college. It's the same exact cameras that I use like at Cronkite that we would rent out from the labs, you know?
Yeah.
And
The good old jet lab.
bro, the good old jet lab. And it's been years of reps, years of just like learning. Like I've been doing this since I was a freshman in high school. I graduated college 5 years ago now. So like when you think of like 2020.
2020. I graduated college 2020. Yeah, I graduated 2022.
2022. So like a couple years after me. That's crazy. That's wild. Out here in Arizona too. So yeah, that's a little bit of my background and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's dope.
No, for sure. So where was I going with that? Talking about that. Oh yeah. Well, I guess we can kind of like yeah. So I guess aside, we've talked a lot about branding. You know, we talked a lot about athletes utilizing the tool, social media, for what it is. Yeah, but going back to you, like I remember you were saying at the beginning that you did some modeling, right? And then you were like, okay, and then you kind of thought about more behind the camera and like when was the first time like you actually picked up a camera and like actually started trying it out for yourself?
Yeah. Well, at Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at ASU, as a freshman, they like encourage you to like you said, rent out a camera from the Jet Lab and go shoot content, high school sports content, AIA specific content. And then they assign you to a school and they say, hey, go cover one sport from whatever season you want at this specific school.
Yeah.
And
It's like part of the curriculum.
it's part of the curriculum. Yeah, it's part of like it's a grade. It's part of the class.
Yeah.
So I got lucky. My mom bought me a camera, just like you, and
It's fire.
so I went out and shot. I think I got assigned to Williamsfield High School. I got really lucky.
Dope.
Like thinking back in hindsight, because Kyler Casper was playing at Williamsfield. I don't know if you know who that is, but he was really good in high school. So I got to cover some up and coming like D1 prospects when I first started, but I wasn't any good. I mean, when I first started filming, like my footage was. Can we cuss on here?
Sure.
My footage was shit. I can't lie. Yeah, my footage was shit, but I got a lot better. And
Like anybody.
well, I mean, yeah, everybody's footage is terrible when they first start. And I was just out there filming, and I would see like a highlight or something. I'd post it on Twitter, and I'd get some views, I'd get some looks, I'd get some retweets. I'd be like, oh, that's kind of nice. So like showcasing somebody else's talents and stuff like that.
Okay.
And it just kind of grew, and I started an Instagram page. This is back when I took photos, and I was posting photos, and playing basketball in the area definitely helped me start out because I had some connections, whether it was coaches, directors of programs, like players. Obviously, like when I first started filming, I was able to film like we were talking about before, like Tai Tai. Like I played against Tai Tai, so like he's somebody I knew, like he's a friend of mine. So I was able to like, because one of the hardest parts about starting out when you're first starting out is like getting the players to post your stuff. Because like you said, it's not like not everybody's stuff is really good when they start out.
Right.
So like a lot of the top players, they don't really want to post it, or they don't want to like endorse, they don't want to like tag you. That's like a thing. So I got lucky in that the players like knew me, so they kind of took a chance on me and like posted my stuff and kind of gave me that little boost at the beginning.
Yeah, show some love.
Yeah, I got showed a lot of love. I
That's
can't
dope.
lie, and so that kind of helped me like build an identity and kind of like get and have some fun with it, and then it kind of grew, and then you know, when I always say like if you make good stuff,
Yeah.
you will grow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you make good content, people will watch.
Mhm.
Like it's really hard to just make consistently good quality stuff, whether like in any walk of life, like in any job,
Right.
but especially in this, like content creating, if you make good stuff, people will eventually watch and your content will grow and people start to get to know your name and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, it just kind of happened like that. I was just trying different stuff, trying to be creative and doing a bunch of random videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, bro. And you've mentioned some names already, like Ty Washington. You know, he's in the NBA now. He's like, you know, one of
Just signed a new contract with the Clippers. Congratulations, shout out
the
my boy.
Clippers.
Yeah, yeah,
Dang.
little 1 year.
Missed
No
it.
two-way too. We on the real. We on
Oh,
the real
no,
deal.
really?
Yeah, on the real deal.
No two-way?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I'm
Shout
saying.
out my
Dang,
man,
missed him in
Ty.
Phoenix. Dang, he was a, you know, like Phoenix. That was a feel-good story.
Yeah,
of
the
him.
Phoenix Sun.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Being with the Suns and whatnot. So you mentioned like Ty Washington playing with him and then eventually shooting with him. Like, I know at the facility during the grind session, that like Paulo Banchero was there back when he was in high school. Who were some of like what are either let's talk about like some of the craziest events, craziest athletes, or it could just be people in general. Like, what are some of the dopest things that you've gotten to shoot? Like that you can like first thing that comes to your mind, or one of your favorite events or people that you covered.
Well, I'll like kind of make it sentimental, but I just did post this on my story the other day. But playing against Deron Holmes in high school because he went to Millennium.
I saw
He
that.
plays at the Nuggets. He plays on the Nuggets now.
Mm.
And then watching his younger brother Cam, who I've been filming for the majority of his basketball career, is like stuff like that. Like makes me feel good on the inside. Like that's like a family story and kind of like Ty too. Like I knew him. I played against him. And the Williams family as well. Like I played against Jalen Williams, and then like to see like his younger brother Cody like make the NBA. Like those kind of stories is kind of what I got into it for, was like to be able to tell those kind of stories,
Mm.
because sometimes those feel good stories like fly under the radar unless you see them on a Netflix documentary or something. Like everybody wants to film the top guys, but I think those feel good stories of like two brothers making the NBA, or you know what I mean, like being the first one out of your family to
Yeah.
really like make it out, is I mean that's what I was into. But craziest players for sure. I mean, Paulo was a man child in high school. He was absolutely NBA ready when I first recorded him. He was unbelievable. Him, Shaden Sharp. Shaden Sharp was a monster. I can't believe he skipped college and skipped right to the NBA. But
Catching bodies.
nah, yeah, he was unbelievable. Yeah, he was unbelievable. Who's some other
I forgot
players?
Shaden Sharp was like he was at Dream City.
Who's some other players in high school? I mean, obviously I filmed like Chet.
That's dope.
Who's some like high flying like dunking guys like I mean I remember filming Andrei Stojakovic. I don't know if you know who that is. He's Peja Stojakovic's son. He's nice. Yeah, he's real good.
I remember him. He was did he is he at Stanford now?
Yeah, where I think he transferred from Stanford to Cal, and now he's at Illinois.
Oh,
Yeah, he's at Illinois.
I remember him. I remember that name.
Yeah, he's dope. But I remember honestly, you can find all my favorite tournament to film was Section 7. Section 7 was, I say was because they changed the venue. It used
That's
to be
when it
at
was at
State
the
Farm.
Cardinal Stadium.
Yeah, when it was at State Farm, it was unbelievable. Like just the atmosphere, the amount of talent that was in the building, the way they had it set up with the lighting and it's just, I mean, everything about it. It was pristine. That was one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite all-time events for sure. But
you at it this past year?
Yeah, I was at it.
Was it a different feel?
It was definitely a different feel.
Okay.
It felt like a regular
like tournament.
It felt like a regular AAU basketball tournament. I'm not gonna like dog on them. It's an event that I love to cover, but at the Cardinal Stadium, that was honestly one of the most unique.
That was iconic.
Yeah, that was iconic.
Bro, you were like Section 7, like Cardinal Stadium. Like,
yeah, it's
basketball in a freaking NFL stadium. Like,
yeah, basketball in an NFL stadium is insane.
That's fire.
Yeah, no, I really did.
I know you can't really beat that feel or look, but I mean it's still cool though, right?
I filmed some Hall of Fame series games. They do like this series, like this college basketball series where they have teams come in, and I filmed some of those, some high level players, but Section 7 is definitely the best. Yeah, for sure,
bro.
Yeah.
Do you have I'm gonna get into finances here a little bit. You don't feel free if you don't feel comfortable sharing your I'm not trying to count your pockets.
Yeah, that's
right. But like people kind of like, especially freelancing, they don't really know how to price themselves,
Yeah.
So like if you need to talk about like what's the most you got paid for a single shoot, or like do you get contracts, retainers? Do you get like a client that pays you monthly? Like how does it work, I guess, for you specifically? And then yeah, I'll start there.
Yeah, and that's funny. I've been putting one of my main videography homies on lately,
Mhm.
to like the process of like making money. Cause like a
Mhm.
lot of content people are really good at making content, but they're not really good like business people,
Mm-mm.
which is like
I'm one of
you have
them.
to develop some really good business skills if you want to like make your own content. Cause when you make your own content, you're basically like running your own business. You're running you're working for yourself.
Yeah.
If you want to do it full time,
If you want to do it for a living, right?
which is I'm lucky enough to do it full time.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, as of right now, I'm lucky to do it full time. But if you're looking to make any kind of money out of it, you got to be somewhat of like a businessman.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I would say like I like to charge per hour or per game. If it's non-sports, I like to charge per hour,
'Kay.
and if it's sports, I like to charge per game.
Gotcha.
Um,
So you do stuff other than sports,
yeah, I do a lot
like
other than
corporate
sports.
weddings, like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, weddings, yeah, corporate shoots. Like I film a lot of trainers. I film like real estate.
Mm.
So anything like that, I like to do it per hour,
Mm.
just so that um people don't. I mean, honestly, it's just like a built-in thing. Like I don't want to be out there shooting for hours and hours if it's not like if you don't need to.
Mhm.
So when you charge, I found for when you charge per hour, the clients they cut down whatever they were gonna do into like they condense it. So
Yeah,
because like honestly, and you know this when you're filming,
for
you
sure.
don't need when you filming like someone work. Let's just say someone workout, whether it's a basketball workout or a lift workout, you don't need to be there for the entire hour. Not to make a good video. You really just need them to do all the exercises. But they could do all the exercises in 15 minutes, and I
Facts.
could leave, and then they could really do the workout or whatever they're gonna do. Like
Facts.
if because you're getting hired to shoot the video. So a lot of my clients, especially the better ones that have been filming with me for a long time, we get right to it. I show up, we're gonna crank it all out, and then I'm gonna leave so that we can all get it done within the hour. So I feel like just for like from a client perspective, they condense everything that you have to do, and it's all structured within the hour. And then when it's per game, I think it's just better like to I mean, if athletes, because the
Mm.
games are sometimes it goes in overtime, sometimes it goes longer, sometimes it goes shorter. So it's just charging per game is just easier. But I do have a lot of like I film for like Brophy Lacrosse. Like they that's like one of my main sports guys. Shout out Brophy Lacrosse, 4-time state champs.
Dang,
Um
impressive.
yeah, and so like that's one of the teams that like they paid me for the whole season to shoot content for the team, and like I run the social medias and stuff like that. So
So they got you on like a retainer?
yeah, yeah, like a
Mhm.
monthly like I get like they pay me through check.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. So it's different. Like I mean, a lot of his stuff is like Venmo, Cash App, Apple Pay, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
I don't really like to take cash, but I mean that happens. And then
Like whatever.
the corporate, I mean, I think like the payment structure has gotten a little bit easier. Like when I first started, it was a lot like people were trying to PayPal the crap out of me. Like, hey,
Mm.
can I PayPal you? PayPal, and like because PayPal is more like official, I guess.
For sure.
But since social media is kind of like I said, it's growing and growing and growing, and now it's a part of daily life. Like the corporate business in real time, big businesses are willing to pay through Venmo and Apple Pay and stuff like that. So it like making money and being a business, running a business has become a lot easier for me over time. I mean,
Mm.
it's like real simple. Like, hey, this is how much I charge. It's gonna be this much for the event. Send me the Venmo, or if they want to do through check or whatever. But
Yeah.
I think a lot of people just don't know what to charge. They don't know like how much they're worth. It's a lot of, and then like it's hard having clients and like they pressure you because obviously the client doesn't always want to pay top dollar, so they're always trying to get a discount, and it's hard to stand your ground
Yeah.
and not let your clients pressure you and stuff like that. So those are all stuff that like people like learn, and I've had to learn and stuff like that.
A lot of factors. A lot of factors.
Yeah, a lot of factors. Yeah.
So if you just did sports, if you just did basketball, football, high school football, whatever, like, would you be able to do this full time, or you're only be able to do it full time because you branched out, because you're doing corporate, you're doing weddings, you're doing like whatever, you know what I mean? Like, how would you? Yeah, what would you think?
Unless you're attached to like I don't even know like a circuit that runs all season. I think it would be really hard to do it just sports full
Mm,
time. Being a freelancer, like if you were on salary for a specific company, I think it
right.
would be a lot easier. But if you're freelancing, which a lot of people are, it's really hard to just do when basketball season comes around, just do basketball. And then football season comes around, just do football. And then like in the off season, do like the AU tournament stuff. Like it's doable, but
Mhm.
I find that a lot of the content that I'm getting hired for is like trainers and people that are, like I mean, I guess that is sports, but like that's more of like, you know, like the other side of sports, like the trainers, the you know, the physical therapy,
like the
people.
behind the
Yeah,
scenes, like
yeah,
yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah.
So you work mainly with like you said trainers, coaches, that kind of
Trainers, coaches, yeah, yeah. Like people that do like PT or anything like behind the scenes that need content of them, what they do for an athlete. That's a lot of that's where a lot of my money comes from for sure.
Gotcha. Okay, you don't have to mention like clients' names. You don't gotta name drop or anything. What's what's the most you made from one single shoot? And if you don't want to throw a number out there, that's cool. We can move on.
Like, well, if you do weddings, that's like 5, 6, 7 grand.
That's
So
true
I'd say,
for one wedding, right?
yeah, so I'd say like 7 grand.
So you done weddings.
Yeah, I also do weddings.
So
Yeah,
that was from weddings,
yeah, from weddings.
bro. And they be paying for weddings.
No, they do. Yeah, weddings is the most.
So you're really like you would say you're like an overall like videographer.
Videographer, yeah.
And you don't be and again, kind of going back to like how we were talking about the branding, like you don't be posting your wedding shoots or anything to
And
Dawgs AC.
and now that you brought that up, that's something that I need to work on.
Mm,
And I've thought about, and I really don't know how to go about
mm,
posting the other stuff that I shoot.
mm,
I need to start another page, like a wedding only page and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then I would have to, I've had like 6 or 7 different pages for everything that I shoot.
yeah.
But 100%, I need to be posting the wedding stuff on my basketball, on my main Dawg AC page. I just can't get myself to do it.
Dang. Like what the wedding stuff on
I
you?
I can't do it.
But honestly, I think that
Like I want to, but I'm just like,
you're like, no, I can't.
because I just have I like my main audience is the sports audience. So they're gonna see the wedding stuff and they're gonna be like, what the heck is going on with bro?
And honestly, like to your point, I think that's exactly why you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because like when you're building content, like people are following your page for the content.
For the
that you
content.
know what I mean?
Yes,
Because
everyone has like a niche.
yeah, exactly. As like I don't hate to sound all corporate and business like, but that's what it comes down to today.
Yes.
Like people who follow Dawgs AC,
They
they
wanna
want to
see
see basketball content.
yes, they want
So if you start
basketball.
putting like wedding stuff on there, they're
Yes.
gonna be like, "What the heck is this?"
And then hit
What-
me with that unfollow.
They're gonna be like, "What is bro doing?" Right?
100%.
So yes, it is more work to run multiple accounts. It is like it kind of sucks to build up a following and grow it from ground up. And you want to use the whole audience.
Yes.
You're like, I got all these eyeballs on it. But on the other hand, it's like, bro, if you started showing like wedding content or corporate content onto your ball, like I promise you, like it would have. I don't either that specific content is not going to clearly it's not going to do as good as the basketball stuff,
Right.
and it might even hurt the audience that you already built with your basketball stuff.
Right. And then a lot of people would make a counterpoint like, well, like you might have 4 or 5 people hit you up for weddings.
True.
That's thousands and thousands of dollars. It's like, yeah, but I don't know if I'm trading thousands and thousands of dollars for that loss of the audience though, and the loss of like people rocking with the
Yeah.
stuff that I'm doing. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
path that I'm building. Yeah. So and I'm
There's pros and cons. It's a game. Yeah.
100%.
It's a
Yeah.
game of
That's
pros.
definitely something I've been.
and
I haven't really figured out like the perfect medium for that, but I
Yeah.
definitely have thought about that. Where to post the other stuff at. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's real. It's a real it's a whole business model. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
like, bro, I heard somebody say this the other day, and I think I've been hearing like more people say this. It's like social media isn't social media anymore. It's just media.
Yes.
Like it's just media now.
Yeah. It's just media.
Like what used to be
Yeah, yeah,
like
with-
a
with-
way to connect with
100%.
friends and groups
Yep.
is like now just it's TV.
Yes.
It's newspaper.
Right.
It's what people 10, 20, 30 years ago had. Right, the TV, the broadcast, it's like now you have your phones.
Yeah, you have your
social
phones. You
media.
go right to Instagram.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a huge part. 100%. It's not even social media at this point. It just is media. Because all the other media platforms before were like, I'm like old enough to the point where like blogs like used to be a thing. Like,
Right.
where people used to like post stuff on a blog on a website, and that would be like the gossip and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
we don't have that anymore. People don't look at the newspapers anymore. I mean, my grandparents do, but
Sure.
no young. I don't even think the newspaper shows up at my door anymore. I go. If I'm going getting my news, I'm going on social media. I'm going on the accounts that I follow that are posting the updated stuff. And if it doesn't pop up on my feed, I didn't hear about it.
Which is crazy because we grew up being told, don't get your information from social media. You know what I mean?
No, they used to say that,
Bro.
Yeah, they used to say that's an unreliable. The internet is an unreliable source.
Yes, bro. I remember being. I'm throwing it back. I remember being in elementary school, and we were talking about like, stranger danger stuff.
Yes.
Like don't like if they don't have their real name in their account or whatever. Like, don't trust them. That's all people do.
Yeah, and
That's
it used
what
to
people do.
it used to be like, don't go on a website unless it had .org or .gov or .edu.
It's
now
like
it's like, and now it's like we got. I mean, everybody's clicking Instagram links, and I mean, I mean, it's
frenzy. Like,
I mean, you can literally like this is my big that I just brought up something. This is my biggest fear is having when people send you those DMs and it's not actually them. It's like someone they got their account hacked or something.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like a link. And if you click that link, your account you will lose your Instagram account.
Fried.
Yeah, that's my biggest fear is that happening to me because like I said, I built up this following
Yeah.
and like it could get erased. Like I see people when they're like, "Oh, my account got hacked. They have to start over." I feel so bad for them on the inside. You know what I mean?
You're like,
Like,
"Damn,
no.
that's tough."
Yeah, that's so tough. Yeah, because it's unbelievable. I do remember that. Like, it used to be like, "Oh, don't trust if it's that." And yeah,
And now it's just like, who
it's
cares almost?
free. It's free will. It's all free. Yeah, it's free game.
It's bro,
Yeah.
it's a frenzy out there
It
for
is a
sure.
frenzy,
It's
100%.
kind of scary, but maybe that's now AI is coming on, and that's a whole other
I
conversation.
heard AI was gonna take over our
Jobs.
yeah, but I haven't seen that happening yet.
Yeah. What?
I mean,
What?
no, literally somebody a couple years ago was like, "AI is gonna take over your you're gonna have to change career paths. You're not gonna be able to be," and I'm like, "Yeah, I mean."
Still early on,
But
but
it is there are some insane AI edits that I've seen this year, like, alone that are just
it's
like, "What?"
it's wild, bro.
Yeah, it is wild.
It's wild. It's out there. It's coming, and it's like, bro, it's only getting better. It's only gonna get more utilized and all that stuff, and it's crazy, dude. That's a whole
Yeah,
conversation in itself. We can go on a tangent on that alone.
100%.
But real quick, unless you got something on your heart or something that comes to mind as we talk about this, this might be one of our last few points or last few questions here. What is what is something like what's either one piece of advice or what's something that you would tell to the next up and coming, you know what I mean, aspiring videographer, somebody who wants to do this for a living, maybe somebody who wants to let's talk to the videographer first behind the camera,
Yep.
and then we can maybe go on in one last spiel for like the athlete who maybe isn't utilizing social media like they should. So just for somebody who's trying to break into the space, who wants to be a videographer, who wants to be the next Ball Dogs videographer, Ball's Life videographer, who wants to start their own video production company, what's like one piece of advice or what is something you would have to say to that person?
The biggest thing I could say to any up and coming, because 'cause I'm assuming when you say up and coming, like, I was on the younger side.
Right.
Like, I can't I mean, I don't know a lot of up and coming camera people that are on the older side, so I guess this doesn't apply to them, but I'm just talking about the younger guys, whether you're starting in high school or whether you're starting in college,
Okay.
is there's gonna be a lot of pressure from the adults in the space, the sports space or whatever kind of space you're going into, when it's a corporate space, whatever you're shooting, there's a lot of adults that are going to try to pressure you into lowering your value or acting like you don't know what you're talking about or making you feel like you don't belong and stuff like that. And I would say like stick to your guns. Like don't like stand up for yourself in any kind of capacity, any space. If you feel like uncomfortable or somebody's trying to pressure you into like I said, like um, giving you a lower price or trying to lowball you or trying to, when I heard a lot of this when I first started coming up. Oh, I can offer you exposure.
Hmm.
Like that, like I mean, obviously to me, like doesn't matter anything to me now, but like that's a lot. That's like a
Like a weapon, a
that's
tool.
a weapon
Yeah.
they use to try to like lure you in to make it seem like it's going to be something of value for you. When it's really like
Wow.
you got to get monetary. If you're producing something that's worth value, you deserve to be either monetarily compensated or compensated in another way that's valuable to you. But exposure and stuff like that, those are like buzzwords that these adults and these people in this space use to try to get you, to try to pull one over on you. And I don't like that. I don't endorse that. I think that's slimy. I think that's scammy. And I don't like that about the space that we operate in, but that's just how it goes. And I would say that any up and coming person, you got to be on the lookout for that and stick up for yourself. Just because an adult is telling you, hey, come film my runs at 3 a.m. and it'll be great exposure for you. No, I'm not doing that unless you're gonna pay me or unless I'm gonna get something out of it.
Or unless I have like zero experience. Like
Yes,
I've never done this before.
right. If you have zero experience, then you're in a space where you gotta offer yourself to do stuff for free. But there's a point where you're not doing stuff for free anymore. Like you've gotten to the point where okay, now you're charging. You gotta stick up for yourself because a lot. I mean, I experience it now. Like I'm 24. I'm about to be 25, and I still get adults that try to pull one over on me and be like, oh, like I tell them I always take all my payments prepaid.
Mm.
I don't do it after the fact. I take it all prepaid, and it's got like I have to have the money in my account before I show up to film. I got people that are trying to pressure me and like be like, "Oh, I'll give it to you then. I'll give it to you." No, I need it now. I need it when I ask for it. And if you don't want to give it to me when I ask for it, then we can't do business. And you got to be okay with saying stuff like that.
Mm.
You got to be okay with losing a client because like you're sticking to your values,
Mm.
and that's really hard for. I can speak for experience. It's really hard to be young and in this space and stand your ground because adults will look at you like you're crazy. But that's the most important thing is don't let anyone pressure you and stuff like that.
Bro, that's real.
Yeah.
That was good.
No,
I like
yeah,
that.
that's been on my mind for a while.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
bro. Dang, yeah, I feel like I don't know, personal experience.
Yeah, a ton of personal experiences.
I mean, you're right. I mean, shoot, I can, yeah. I mean, not off the top of my head, but just hearing you talk, it like brought up, I feel like some old feelings and emotions from my past of feeling like, yeah, being undersold.
Yeah, undersold. And
Yeah,
they just try to pull one and I'm not gonna say every time it's like malicious, like they're trying to be evil,
yeah,
but they're trying to pull one over you. They're trying to pull a fast one. They're trying to get out of paying more money than they should or whatever. It's like
yeah.
that's cool, but you got to do that to somebody else. I'm not the one. You got to be like, I'm not the one to play with like that. And I feel like I'm at a point where people know not to play with me. Like I'm not. I don't take like I'll go on a rant. I'll rant you on my IG story if you want to play with me. You feel what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
everyone gonna know what you be on.
You'll
So
call them out.
yeah, I'll call you out. I don't mess with that stuff. But you gotta like make a name for yourself to get established where you cannot, not take any bullshit. Cause you have to take some bullshit at the beginning, like you said, when you're doing stuff for free.
For sure.
But yeah, that would be my biggest piece of advice is don't take no bullshit.
I like that, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Appreciate it.
No, I appreciate
What about for the athletes? Like, if there's athletes out there that kind of heard your whole rant, heard your spiel, and they're still like, I don't know, like, I don't really want to put my highlights on the gram. I don't want to put my highlights out. Like, what do you got to say? I don't know. What's like one thing you would say to that kid, right? This could be a high school or college kid who actually wants to take basketball or any sport serious.
the way to make money in sports, if you're an athlete, I'm just talking about the athletes. If you want to make a lot of money, you have to be as well known as possible. Like you can be as good as you want to be.
Mm,
You can be the best player on planet Earth. But if nobody knows you and nobody's heard of you and you haven't played in front of anybody, it's gonna be absolutely useless and you're gonna make no money.
that's a bar.
So you gotta be well known to some degree. And the only way that people are gonna know you is if they see you. The only way they're gonna see you is if they see videos or pictures of you. And the best way for people to get to know you and see you is see videos of you, consistent content, whether it's your daily life, whether it's training, whether it's you actually playing. And the people that are making the most money in sports right now are the most viewed, as in like actual views, like real views on social media, are the most the correlation between the most viewed athletes and the athletes that are making the most money there's a direct correlation between those two. So if you want to make the most money, you got to be the most viewed, most watched. If you want to be the most watched, hire you a cameraman. Hire you a cameraman or get with a cameraman. Get with an up and coming cameraman that doesn't have a lot of views. If you're you play varsity or you play whatever, get with an up and coming cameraman. You guys can grow together. I mean, that's how I started with my guy Nate Calmise. I wanted to make a documentary about somebody and that was my guy. He lived right down the street and we made it happen. So I feel like just get with a camera guy. And I promise you your perspective on your brand and what you can be in life will change.
Mm. Where's Nate at now?
Nate is at Wake Forest.
Wake Forest.
Yeah, senior year at
Is
Wake
he at
Forest.
Louisville?
No.
No. Okay.
No, he was at the Lamar his freshman year, which is the Cardinals. Yeah, so they do that. They have the Louisville logo.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's worked his all the way up to the ACC now, so he's gonna he's in to have a great year.
That's fire, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. Man, just hearing you say that too. Maybe this is another thing that I want to touch on, and I don't know if you feel or think about this as much as I do, or feel as passionately about this, but you talk about exposure. You talk about getting views, right? Like that's how you're gonna make money in sports as an athlete, right? The most like there's a direct correlation between the most viewed athletes and highest paid, right?
Right.
You can see it. You can see it, and it's clear as day. What are some of the trade-offs to that? Because yes, you're making money, you're probably living lavish, you have this good lifestyle, but you got a lot of eyes on you.
Yep.
I'm sure you got a lot of trolls in your comments. You got a lot of people that got an opinion about you, that want to say something about you, that some people that just straight up don't like you, that might even like wish ill upon you because you're everywhere.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So like, what do you think about that? What are some of the trade-offs? Like, what are some of the trade-offs to, I mean, I know I just mentioned a few, but what are some, from your perspective, some things to be mindful of? Like, if you do start getting a lot of views, you do start getting a lot of notoriety, you do start getting noticed a lot. What are some of the cons that come with that?
Scrutiny is going to come tenfold. Yep. With more eyes comes more haters, more people that are trying to knock you and tear you down. But I feel like I said, if you're an aspiring athlete, you want to make real money, that comes with that. It comes the scrutiny and the criticism and all that comes with that. So you got to be ready for that. But yeah, 100%. I'll give you an example. Like Anthony Edwards, like he was in that Netflix documentary Starting Five. Like he's on social media a lot. He's like a popular person.
Yeah.
He lives his life the way he wants to live it, and he's not like he's unapologetically like him, and that works for him because he's an NBA player. But I wouldn't suggest that the college or high school players act like that on camera and do this, and do this and like he does with women and stuff like that.
He didn't have camera crews in high school and college.
Yeah, no, yeah.
He didn't start doing that too as an NBA.
Yeah, you gotta be more. You gotta be. Yeah, it definitely comes with. You gotta act a certain way. You gotta act a certain way. And although everybody wants in this new age of like authenticity and like being yourself and not just pandering for the camera, I think you do have, especially if you're gonna have a camera person and you're gonna be on camera a lot and you're gonna be on videos, you're gonna have make a YouTube channel and stuff like that. You gotta look the part. You can't just be doing, you can't be John Morant. That might be a bad take, but you can't be flashing the gun on IG Live or something like that. I mean, he makes it work, like I said, because if you're in the NBA, you can do a lot of stuff and get away with it.
True.
And I think that sets a bad. I'm a pick on Ja right quick, but that sets a bad example for kids that make it seem like you can do that and get away with it. I wouldn't suggest doing stuff like that. That's gonna hurt your brand, hurt your image. And there's a lot of stuff there that college players are doing now that are just hurting their stock, hurting their brand, hurting their image. And that's why I said it's super important to build it, precisely and with, that thought in mind, because you could screw it up real easy doing something real dumb.
No,
so
facts.
Yeah, more eyes equals more haters, more scrutiny for sure.
Definitely, dude. Well, shoot, Dawgs AC, aka Just AC.
Just AC.
My boy.
My man.
I appreciate you coming on.
Yes, sir.
This was a really dope talk. Maybe we might need to do part 2. I feel like you got some more.
Yeah, let's do
some more freaking insights and stuff to say. So yeah, might have to bring you on again for another time. Man, I know I just kind of like back to back. Any last words? But any last words for the viewers? Anything you want to say? Anybody want to shout out?
No, I mean, I think this is dope. I remember I did I shot like a podcast in my. I know you said you started this in your room. I started mine in my office in my house. So I think like starting shows and doing a podcast and doing your own thing is dope. I'm glad that I was able to be a part of it.
Dude,
100%.
Thanks for coming on. Love to have you on again sometime. Maybe with Ant.
Yeah, with Ant.
Right.
Gotta show up.
Ant, get your life together, bro. It's all good. Well, he'll be back. Yeah. From Collective Coffee. No Fear Press. I'm your host, CJ Chidas. I don't even think I introduced myself.
I don't think you did either. I think I got to yapping and
we started yapping and I just I'll put my name on the screen somewhere. But I'm your host, CJ Chidas. Dawgs AC. Thanks for joining us. And for episode 2, that's it. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Until next time. Peace.
Yes, sir.